It's recorded the wrong screen, and it's not been nice. All right, so theoretical probability is fair. Everybody has a fair chance. Experimental. All right, this was the actual outcomes. All right, the ratio of the number of times the events occurred to the total of trials, based on data often displayed in tables. Now, this right here, as the number of trials increase, the experimental probability approaches theoretical. Does that make sense to y'all or not? Because I had somebody last class period go, but why? Okay, so let's think about this. Let's say there are, 19 of y'all in here? Roughly 17? So experimental probability. If I were to choose one of you to take out the trash, because everybody seems to be fighting over taking out the trash lately. So if I chose one of you, one time I had all your names in a jar and pulled one out. What is my experimental probability? What are the chances that you have in getting your name pulled? 1 out of 17, 1 out of 19, whatever my total is. Okay. What if I did it was like, all right, after 17 times, what was the probability? If I did it more times, would it have a probability of being more fair? Yes. Okay, everybody had more of a chance. So that's why as your experiments, the more you experiment, the closer that it gets to being fair. All right. So we've gone over all of it. Let's just dive right in, shall we? Okay, so it starts off kind of easy. We did this problem and they were like, oh, I like this probability. It is pretty easy, but there is something in it that will trick you if you are not careful. So it says, in a survey, 7 out of 8 dentists recommend a Pro toothbrush. I'm going to stop right there. What does this usually tell us to do? How does it usually tell us to set that up? 7 over 8 as a fraction. Guys, out of is usually indicative of a fraction. Set it up as a fraction. Now, today's the 24th. All right, so what is the 7 representing?
How many say that they should have a toothbrush?
Okay, how many recommend it, right? So these are the ones that are recommending a certain toothbrush. What is the 8? The total number of dentists that were surveyed. So it says predict. Guys, this word right here, do y'all remember what this tells us? Not one person remembered last class period, which is scary. It tells us a way to solve. Proportionally, thank you. Okay, I take that back. One person did come up with it last class period, but after a lot of prompting. Okay, so if I see predict, I set it up as a proportion. Okay, so if I have 7 out of 8, I'm going to see which proportion would be reasonable to that outcome. So in a survey of 24 dentists, 18 of them will recommend a Pro toothbrush. Okay. What is the 18? What is the 24? Where do they go?
24 on the bottom and 18.
Okay, good. Because somebody asked last class period, well, how do I know where to put my numbers? Well, you have to read very carefully. Okay. 18 of them recommended. Well, we put the ones that recommended on top. 24 dentists were surveyed. Okay. So how do I get from 8 to 24? Times 3. How do I get from 7 to 18? Nothing. So would that be a proportion? No. So that is not right. Okay. In a survey of 40 dentists, so 40 is my total. I'm just going to start a new one over here since I don't have a pencil. All right. Out of 40 dentists, 33 of them. Well, how do I get from 8 to 40?
5.
How do I get from 7 to 33?
Can't.
I can't. Okay, so that's not my answer. So if I have 7 out of 8, how do I get from 56 to 64? On top and bottom.
No. 8 times 8 is 64.
7 times 8.
So was it a proportion?
No.
What? Yes. Guys, if I can do the same thing to the top and the bottom, that means it is a proportion. It progressed at the same rate every time, which is what we're looking for. Okay?
So C is your answer.
C is my answer. I'm still going to check, though, because Are they really good at giving us wrong, like good wrong answers?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so 7 out of 8. At a survey of 88, 70 of them. How do I get from 8 to 88? 11. Well, what is 7 times 11? 77, so it's not 70. So C is my answer. Okay,
These are our notes, right?
these are our notes, yes. Okay. At a pizza shop, you can choose thick or thin crust. These are the fun ones. Red or white sauce, and toppings of pepperoni, cheese, or vegetarian. How many different combinations are possible for someone who does not care for meat or white sauce? Okay, these are the ones that usually confuse